Thanks so much for joining me for the second video of our Alkaline Detox webinar and for your comments from the first video. So let's recap. In the first video, we discussed 5 important steps for making change. Get rid of your autonomic negative thoughts called ants. Identify what you want to change about your life and health. Discover your roadblocks so you can overcome them. And find a positive peer group for support. And knowing that practice makes progress. So take a small step forward every day. We also shared with you 3 simple things you can do to start feeling healthy. Those 3 steps were 1, drinking lemon water first thing in the morning. 2, was walking 10 extra minutes a day. And lastly, eliminating processed foods for breakfast. Remember, I've been in your situation. I struggled with my health as well because of lupus. And for the last 19 years, I've worked with patients as a doctor of physical therapy and as a functional medicine practitioner, helping them overcome their roadblocks to enjoy a thriving life. A life with more energy, improved confidence, significant weight loss as a side effect, and feeling in control over their health and maintaining these gains. It's amazing what happens when my patients start making changes for the better. It becomes a drastic transformation all around. In this video training, we'll show you how to set yourself up for success. In my experience, patients struggle with these 4 roadblocks. Number 1 is eating out. Number 2 is grocery shopping. Number 3 is choosing the right foods. And then number 4 is reading the ingredient labels. I feel they struggle with these topics because they don't know how to make healthy decisions. I recommend that you take the time to print the worksheets below and fill out with all the actions you can commit to, because taking action is key to your success. Remember, knowledge is not power, it's applied knowledge that is powerful, which means you need to put knowledge into action. Let's start with eating out. When we eat out, we're more likely to indulge in foods we should not be eating. We tend to subconsciously sabotage our efforts to be healthy. Let's have a moment of self-check here. Ask yourself, are you putting yourself in a situation where you'll sabotage your efforts to be healthy? When you see others around you ordering and eating unhealthy foods, will it tempt you to indulge? Or you may have woken up with increased pain that day and just don't feel like eating healthy because you're overwhelmed. Remember, you're in control. There are a few tips to keep in mind when you go out to prevent your self-sabotage. First is you're not confined to what is listed on the menu. Most restaurants are willing to modify dishes to fit your own preference. This means you can ask them to cook the food in a certain way. For example, bake meat instead of frying, steam vegetables instead of stir-frying with oil, hold the breading on the fish, meat, or vegetables, and for salads, ask to hold the croutons and take the dressing on the side. And to prevent temptation, ask your server not to bring any bread or chips to the table. You should also check out the menu before you go and pick what you're going to order. This prevents you from being tempted by unhealthy dishes, which may cause you to make a slip. And ask yourself, are you going out with people that will be supportive of your health efforts? If not, either choose not to go or prepare yourself for their attempt to undermine your efforts. Guard yourself from their negative influence. What do I mean? It's not that they're bad people. It's just human nature to keep the status quo. People don't like change. So if you decide to be healthy, it'll spark a reflection on them that they might not be ready to deal with. So what do? They will resist you and challenge and undermine your efforts subconsciously. I want you to know that you can choose to neutralize their efforts by not drawing attention to yourself and by being firm and unwavering, period. Know what to order and what not to order and make a choice before outing so that you'll be just fine. Take the time now to write down what steps you can take to prevent self-sabotage when you eat out. Next, let's talk about grocery shopping. Pick a day that you'll go grocery shopping. We recommend a day where you'll have the whole day off. And next, plan your menu for the entire week. This includes meals and snacks. Then make a list of the ingredients you'll need for each of the meats and snacks. Make sure you stick to this list when you are at the grocery store. Don't buy anything not on your list. When you're at the grocery store, avoid the aisles and stick to the perimeter of the store. In most grocery stores, the aisles contain the processed foods, while the perimeter contains the unprocessed foods such as produce and meat. And never grocery shop when you're hungry. The proven fact that going to the grocery store hungry causes you to impulse buy unhealthy foods you would not otherwise get. Now let's talk about choosing the right foods. Not all foods are created equal. There is a substantial amount of research that proves that organic produce and meat do indeed have a higher nutrient value. Not only that, but their conventional counterparts contain antibiotics, hormones, pesticides, toxins, and also nitrates. First, let's talk about produce. So the conventional crops contain excessive amounts of pesticides and very little nutrient value. Fruits also absorb pesticides, and they typically contain an outer coating to protect the appearance of the fruit. Sure, you can argue that you can still get vitamins and minerals from conventional produce, but the toxins found in conventional produce cancel out any positive effects. However, we understand that buying organic is not always practical for our patients due to the cost. So, we've attached the Dirty Dozen and Clean 15 list, compiled by the Environmental Working Group. The Dirty Dozen are the 12 fruits and vegetables that are most vulnerable to absorbing pesticides, and the Clean 15 are the fruits and vegetables that are least likely to absorb pesticides. Use these as a guide for buying organic and conventional produce. And when buying something from the Dirty Dozen list, stick to organic. With the Clean 15 list, it's okay to buy conventional. Make sense? Lastly, let's dive into reading food labels. So food labels are very confusing. The first rule of thumb is if you can't pronounce an ingredient, you should probably not eat that food. Chemicals, preservatives, and additives often have complicated names. For example, parabens, BHA, BHT, and TBHQ are all preservatives. They are potentially cancer-causing and disruptive to your hormones. Lastly, think about eating as many natural ingredients as possible. For example, apples are better than applesauce because applesauce is processed. Phew, that was a lot to digest. If you have any questions, tips, or contributions to this video, please write your comments below. And please follow our Facebook page and follow us in the Facebook group so that you can stay in the loop. And in the next video, we'll go over what you can do when you fall off the wagon. This is inevitable, and most people fail to get back on the wagon. We'll provide you with the actionable steps that you can take to overcome your relapse. Again, please subscribe to our YouTube channel, like our Facebook page, Lupus Rebel, and join our private Facebook group, also Lupus Rebel, to stay in the loop. I'll see you next time.